Goblin House Studios.
Welcome to our actual play tabletop podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of our tabletop podcast. I'm Matt, and I play Shrimp Stomp.
I'm Spook Jim, and I play Galliot Delaric.
I'm Jojo, and I play Ninx.
I'm Bianca, and I play Leilathia.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cody, and I play Thornton Stronghollow.
And I am Adam. I will be our game master. When we last left off, our party was going to the Temple of Vasilia in the hopes of addressing the problem of the marks they received from breaking the collar on a wizard outside of the city. On the way there, they met some South Moon elves and did some shopping. Now they find themselves by the harbor. It's dusk and the sun is beginning to set. In front of them is a large, ominous stone structure at the base of a lighthouse. There's a gate up a ramp from which a green glow is coming, and the door is just sitting open. What do y'all do?
Is this the place we must go?
Do we need to do some sort of check, like investigative check, or
Yeah.
ritual?
There's a bronze plaque, almost dark green from being weathered with age, that shows a skeleton riding a horse, and that is, from what you understand, probably the symbol of Vasilia.
I don't believe that's the place we need to be.
It's just very spooky.
Why they just got their door open?
This place makes me uncomfortable.
Do we really need to get rid of them? I mean, I don't think.
Yes, we do.
We don't even know what they are, so we might want to go in, at least.
I mean, all it does is just itch a little bit. I mean,
We could get, like, a consultation.
There's a lot.
Bad juju. Bad
Bro, they could be,
juju.
like, turning us into vampires or something. We might want to go, what are they?
They could most definitely be killing us.
Yeah.
Leading us
Death is
to our
most-
death.
Death is most definitely yes.
Guys, what if we're all allergic to them and we're just slowly dying? This is an option.
That would be terrible.
Oh, what a plot idea. How terrible would that be?
Well, if you think about it, if it is killing us, basically we are allergic. So I mean,
Well, if you recall... Go ahead.
Symptoms of an infection. They're red, itchy, and they're very easily irritable. And
You're very smart for a sailor.
Shrimp Stomp keeps scratching his.
Oh, that is not abnormal, though.
Now,
He's got boils and...
gotta spread the filth.
Imagine, if you will, what is under Shrimp Stomp's fingernails.
No thanks.
Flavor.
Oh
Seasonings.
gosh.
I put it in all my stew. Stir the stew, stir the stew.
Oh, I can feel it in the back of my throat.
please stop.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
if you recall, the man at the Umira Temple, Cassius, he did not know what to make of these marks, so he just made the suggestion of the Temple of Vasilia, because she is known for curing diseases. He had no better idea, so he directed you here.
So I could do an insight check to make sure this is the place that we're supposed to be at.
I think you can be pretty certain.
Okay. So Ninx just heads in. I'm just like deuces. I'm
But we need
Yeah.
to find out what.
Galliot goes in as well.
Shrimp Stomp stops to read the plaque.
It has no words, just this. It's a cloaked skeleton riding a horse and holding some little object in its hand, but it's just encrusted with age.
Should I try to clean it?
It's pretty high.
Oh, I was talking about the actual plaque, not the statue. You said there was a aged plaque as well?
All I've mentioned so far is a plaque.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Nynx sees a statue because she has entered already. Nynx, you enter, and ahead of you is a large room, and this green light is illuminating a statue. As you get closer, you see there's a large wooden horse, a skeleton riding it with a dusty red robe. Behind the skull's head is a bronze disc, like a halo, that again is aged and weathered and turned dark green. But in her hand is a golden goblet that looks completely new and untarnished and perfect. Behind the statue is a large brazier from which that green fire is coming up. And that green fire is almost going into the wall and crawling up it like tree branches almost, to where it disappears into the ceiling. So the whole room is filled with this creepy green glow. And there's two hallways going off in either direction. Did the rest of you enter as well?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, Thoradin
follow.
reluctantly starts like moving, and he's like moving real slow.
Dragging his feet.
And he once he gets inside, he kind of like stops to like take in this huge statue with the green fire.
And he just kind of sits down and basks in its glow because she paying respect or,
It's good to respect the Dark Mother.
Oh, this is a bad idea.
So she sits there and she just takes one of her little pebbles and is just rubbing it. And just looking. And her little cards are all spread out in front of her.
You're left alone there for a moment in this empty room with this statue. But after a short while, you begin to hear some footsteps come from one of these hallways. Nynx, you turn, you see a figure is approaching through the dark, and there's two reflective eyes that this figure possesses. And emerging from the darkness is a man wearing a dark robe, a shaved head, and a tattoo of thorny vines around his head like a crown. And his eyes have he's human appearing, but his eyes have a strange reflection to them like an animal would in the dark. And he's holding a lantern that is not lit. And he slowly walks into the room and looks over your gathered group. Can I help you?
I'm here paying respects.
We have an actual reason.
Thoradin, who
Okay, y'all just hop right into it, and I was gonna be
Diplomatic enough?
yeah.
Thoradin, who wasn't paying attention, is startled by the new voice. He's like, he just like whips around real fast. He pulls out his mace, like, ah!
The man, his expression changes slightly, but it's so creepy and subtle, you're not quite sure what it means. But he turns his attention to Galliot, who spoke up about having a real reason. He just stares at you.
We were pointed this direction, because we've received some
Markings.
markings for what they are. We do not know, and we have not discovered a way to remove them. They've tattooed themselves onto us like a branding.
And are attaching themselves to our soul.
A vile affliction.
Yes.
Perhaps wise to come to the Dark Mother.
Why I'm paying respects.
Perhaps wise to do so. He steps behind the statue and he lights his lantern with a green flame from that brazier. And then he walks around back towards y'all and holds the lantern up. Show me these marks.
I stand up and I lift my garments to show. This is one.
He holds the lantern close to it and scrutinizes it for a moment.
We also came across a witch that was wearing a collar, an enchantress.
Yeah, I tried to save her.
And in breaking the collar, she was branded, and all of us were too.
She died.
We unsuccessfully saved her. We saved her, but unsuccessfully.
Noble of you to try. Vasilia would be pleased. Come this way. If we are able to, we will try to tend to this.
Reluctantly put my mace back in its holster.
Ninx walks up to and pats you and says, "It will be okay."
If he kills me, I'm going to haunt you.
No killing.
He leads you down one of the dark hallways that winds around, quite narrow. And you see that a little vein of this green, fiery energy follows the wall where it meets the ceiling and very dimly lights it. And you hear ahead of you down this hall several moans of anguish. And you hear someone struggling and beginning to scream. It sounds like people in pain.
Vaccination day.
Sounds like there's some good times being had back there. Up there.
Thoradin just gonna lock eyes with Ninx.
So,
I
great healing's going on.
no, healings feel good.
Not these kind of healings.
Haunting you. I will haunt you.
But there are great healings going on here.
At the end of this hallway, you see the light from actual torches or lanterns. And you enter a room that looks like a hospital. It's full of beds, each with a patient occupying it. Some are covered in sores and are moaning in their beds. And you see one little antechamber where there is a man on a table, and he is struggling back and forth. Around him are several women. They're wearing white robes. Half of their head is shaved, and the other half has hair that is tied up with a side lock on the side of their head. And they are grappling with this person and trying to hold them down. And you see there's other women of the same look who are tending to some of the people in the beds. Most of them look like they're Solemni, the people from the south. The dark-robed man leads you into this room and off to the side to a little side chamber where there is a table and several benches. The walls are filled with what they call. I literally forgot the word shelves. Please edit that out. The walls are lined with shelves full of bottles, potions, and other strange-looking devices. Several imposing little metal instruments that you hope would not ever be used on you.
Torture chamber.
It has a torture chamber kind of vibe.
Yeah, Thoradin's like, it's a torture chamber. What have you let us into, Ninx?
Healing. She's let us do healing.
I've seen places like this in the war.
I could do.
This is where people come to die.
Gallia's just like, oh, it's a doctor's office. So well.
I could do a medicine check, or I could do a religion check. I mean,
You do anything you like.
but I don't.
Do a religion. Yes, please do it. Do a religion check.
It was an 18.
What you know of Vasilia is that she's in some ways kind of terrifying, but her whole motive is to eradicate suffering. needless suffering. Specifically, her beef seems to be disease. And she goes to great lengths to eradicate disease. She's also known for enjoying the existence of undead. And there's stories or rumors that a lot of the uppermost devotees of her churches are undead.
She's into necromancy.
Yes. There's also stories of her offering, tempting mortals with gold into doing various tasks for her. So she's very mysterious. She could be good and bad. It's really not clear. The dark-robed man bids you to sit in some of the benches there. I will return.
I look at Thornton and tell him, because we tried to save the Enchantress, they do us no harm. They mean us no harm.
I'll believe that when I see it.
I do the strange things I do to protect us.
And if it's all the same to everyone, I'm going to stand.
Gellie's gonna do a medicine check.
Okay.
Just to, like, double check. Make sure everything here checks out, you know? That is a
9.
Cute
10.
Oh, I just lay out that one with a 9.
So, yeah,
Yeah, add to it.
it's a 10.
You look at some of the jars and bottles on the shelves. A lot of them, their label is in Solemni. I'm not sure if you can read that. But some of them are in common. And you see a few ingredients that you recognize that are used for healing. So you don't see any poison or cause pain serum or anything like that. And
Murder Juice 9000.
you may notice, perhaps you've seen once or twice, some medical instruments used to remove arrowheads lodged in people and other. They're terrifying looking, but maybe you need a tooth extracted and this big horrible apparatus can rip it out of your head.
You can't have infected teeth on boats.
You can't. They gotta go. After a moment, 3 of those white-robed women with the side locks come in with the man in the black robe. And they just walk right up to you, first to Nynx, and just make a hand motion for Nynx to show them the mark. You see that a lot of them have a scar across their throat.
I stand up on the chair, because after all, I am short. And I slightly pull down the side of my pants and show him and lift up my tunic.
She gets down on her knees and examines it really closely. And she turns to the other woman and makes she mouths some words silently. And the other woman nods and goes to the shelves to get something. The third woman, you see, she turns to the dark-robed man and makes some hand signals. And he leaves the room. You get the impression that these women might be mute.
Why aren't they talking?
It's just like a bunch of nurse joys.
One of them looks at you and just draws her hand across her neck.
You've taken a vow of silence.
A permanent vow of silence.
They can't talk. It's not a vow anymore.
I was trying to be diplomatic, thank you.
Being mute can happen for a lot of reasons.
They should have
Especially
their
when they
tongues.
cut their tongue out.
Yeah. So that's why I said they've taken a vow of silence. They take their vows very seriously.
Never trust a person who can't talk to you.
Well, I mean, they can't.
Thornton is just kind of an antagonistic person going around town.
I give
There's
I
just
Thornton
like
am
an language.
I am in a dark, creepy
I
place.
hand Thornton a stone and tell him, rub this.
Hey,
He starts,
y'all
like,
went
rubbing.
into like the most brilliant, beautiful temple in the city.
And
You
then
called
they
the high
started
priestess
being
an old ugly
asshole
bitch.
to her.
And I tell him, kindness only goes so far.
Thoradin is going to take this rock and he's just going to start like rubbing it.
I said that as a warning.
So Galliot like leans over. You gonna eat that?
A couple of other priestesses come in, and they go up to each of you and make a get on with it motion with their hand and begin trying to look over you for your mark.
I'll pull my clothing to the side so Shrimp Stomp can show them his neck.
Galliot pulls up his sleeve.
I warn the ladies to shield their eyes while Thoradin and
Nobody look at Thoradin.
nobody look.
Thoradin undresses.
Again.
He takes off his armor.
Hold on, let me find my
It's like
counter
Superman. Rip
recordings.
open the
My nudity counter here.
What do you think of that?
They can't see it under the hair.
Oh. My beard's in the way.
We're gonna have to shave you.
Nix runs up and nimbly starts braiding the beard.
As far as I
Thoradin
know,
pulls out
it's
his
three.
warhammer and smashes Neeks. Don't touch the beard.
Thoradin, one of the women comes up to you with a little blade.
Rub the stone.
Immediately toss the stone in her face and run.
No!
No,
No!
I'm just joking.
Eat the rock.
He's like vigorously rubbing this rock like, oh no.
Okay. She digs in right onto the symbol itself. It makes a little gash.
Ow! How dare you!
She makes another little gash.
I drop the rock.
In a moment, she pulls away, and on the flat part of her blade is the teeniest, tiniest little piece of your flesh.
I'm like reaching for my mace.
Calm.
She goes over to the table and begins doing something to it. Leilathia,
I'm sorry.
one
you're
of
not
these
gonna
priestesses,
bandage that wound. What is happening here? He's just bleeding out.
another priestess gives you a piece of cloth. Lets you do it yourself. Leilathia, a priestess comes up to you with a little bottle of glowing green fluid. And she gets a dropper and holds the skin around your mark tight and drops something on it.
What is that? What are you putting on me?
She just shakes her head because
Is
she
it
can't
supposed to burn this bad?
speak. Yeah, it burns a little bit of sizzle happens, and she furrows her brow and kind of looks scrutinizing it.
Where's my sky thistle?
Kill them all.
Shrimp Stump's over here watching his friends possibly being tortured.
Y'all are a bunch of big babies.
I'm just taking it all in.
Nix
We've
can
never
handle
been
it.
to the doctor before. We don't know what this is.
Like I said,
We're not even in a medical room. We're just doing this in the hallway.
No, you're
I've
in a
seen
little
places
side room.
like this
Yeah.
in the war. This is where people go to die.
Hold on, you're telling me that a soldier gets his leg cut off, or his leg so injured it's gangrenous.
Mm-hmm.
Did they take him to like a resort and baby him instead of cutting his leg off?
Aye, they do.
Okay.
In a sterilized room.
Sterilized room.
Dwarves, no sterilization.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
That sounds awful.
You need to be sterilized.
No.
Gallia, one of the priestesses comes up to you with a jar, and with some tongs, she pulls a leech out of it and sticks the leech right on your marking.
Galliot tries his best just to stay still.
Nix starts petting it.
Don't touch it. It's attached to me. His name is Bobbert.
Bobbert the Leech.
Pet?
No.
No. He become your pet.
Chill.
Nynx, one of the priestesses comes up to you with this big piece of what looks like wax, and she pushes it onto your mark, and with some gauze, wraps it very tightly around you. Shrimp Stomp, one of the priestesses comes to you.
Just a bar soap.
She scrubs the shit out of you. Every inch.
No!
Between everything.
No!
Between everything.
Soap and hot water.
Just get a really nice bath.
She
There's
gets
like
some steel wool.
candles.
And just tries to get rid of that shit. No. This priestess looks she looks a bit older. She comes to you, kind of pushes your head to the side to get a better view of your neck. And with her hand, she makes a tiny cut on her palm, and a bit of blood comes out of it. And she makes a fist, and some reddish, kind of glowing energy begins to encircle her hand. And she puts that right on your neck, right over the mark.
Blood magic.
And after a moment, she shrieks, pulls her hands back, and this flash briefly illuminates the room, and this purple energy arcs from your mark to her hand and seems to shock her. And she backs away. And all the other priestesses stop what they're doing and turn to see that and look surprised.
Sorry, I didn't know I could do that.
What did you do?
I don't know.
He cast lightning bolt.
Protection.
The priestesses look at each other kind of confused. They make hand signs to each other or just mouth words.
Great, now they're going to kill us.
Sign language.
Does anyone know sign language? It's like, immediately killed this one.
I think Gallia would definitely know what sign language is, but wouldn't know how to speak it. Or at least doesn't know how to sign it.
Definitely don't know how to speak it.
Yeah.
Ah.
Let me just speak Braille. Give me 1 sec. ...
That's Morse code.
The priestesses look at each other with concern, and the oldest priestess, whose hand just got shocked, gives them some silent instructions, and they leave the room. And this eldest priestess bows a little bit to you and leaves as well, and leaves you in here for a moment.
Oh, I think I scared him off.
They think they're going to kill us.
I think they know he's protected.
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 Like Umar was trying to help me?
Something's trying to help you.
No, I think they're like really strong bed bugs that you just can't get off.
No, whatever this is, motion, pointing towards the brand on my chest.
Of the gaping.
They get the feeling they're not going to be able to help us.
Well, I mean, right now they're just running tests. They gotta figure out what it is first.
Over on the table where she took the little tiny piece of your flesh and she took it over the table to perform some tests on it. Suddenly it sparks up with a green little flash of energy on the other side of the room, and then smokes a little bit.
Is it old enough?
I was supposed to say not like Lewafia.
Sorry. I'm gonna wander over to it and kind of take a look.
He just looks like a scorched black little. It was very small, a piece, like a piece of rice. It's just a little scorched nothing now.
This isn't good.
This is not good.
The man with the dark robe enters, holding his lantern. It seems your problem is most severe. Come with me. You must see the high priest.
Alright, bro.
Okay.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Don my armor back on. I'm sorry for
Leilathia pulls her skirt down.
Does Galliot still just have Bobber on his arm?
You still have a leech on your little symbol.
Still just detached.
Usually.
So nothing happened to the leech? He's still just there.
As you exit, one of the nurses yanks it off of you.
Bobbert! Bobbert, goodbye.
This is when Galliot chooses violence.
He's a parasite. Don't get attached to a parasite.
Shrimp Stomp looks over at Ninx, goes,
Mr. Mushroom, you think they're gonna make us wash these off?
I was not ready for that.
Episode name.
You think they're gonna make us wash these off?
No.
It's a possibility.
No.
Okay, good.
But this is not good.
Yeah,
They wouldn't want to
that
curse
would be
the
worse.
water.
Both mine and Thoradin's are now more susceptible to infection.
Okay.
We might need to wash them.
No, they're gonna make you scrub it off.
No!
We
on
just
all the
need
boils.
we just need to follow quietly and reverently.
Should you quietly and reverently?
I know one of those words.
Respectfully.
Oh, okay.
Like as if she were Umaira.
You listen to the doctors and they don't give you extra shots.
Okay.
Extra baths. You listen
No!
to the doctors and they won't give you extra baths.
Oh, okay.
As you move through the hospital to leave it, you see that other chamber with the man that was struggling, he's now motionless on the table. And the priestesses are surrounding him, doing something to him.
Surgery.
Going to kind of move into the room, like take a look.
Not wise.
She's nosy.
He has some opening in his torso, and they're sticking little instruments in it. They're doing some kind of surgery on him.
They're murdering him.
They're murdering him. Even stranger, however, is as you exit the hospital to go down another hallway, a few priestesses line up and they give each of you a gold coin as you leave.
No, we thank you.
Does it have chocolate in it?
You could bite it.
Galliot
find out.
bites the gold coin.
It's just gold. I'm sorry.
I want it to be known that Thoradin is walking in a way that his armor makes a lot of noise.
What an asshole!
clang, clang, clang.
You're like waking up patients who had only had a bit of rest in the past 32 hours.
Nix is quietly praying to herself that he doesn't get struck dead for not heeding my warning.
Let's make a note to not take Thoradin into temples anymore. Because he cannot behave himself.
Thoradin, we're gonna leave you at the booby diner place, and we're gonna go on to the temple.
No, like I said, she's like, quietly and reverently. He's like, I'll show you quietly and reverently.
I think dwarves get a pass because, they're incorrigible. So anyway, you've all got a gold piece now. You're not sure why.
I don't like it when people give me random gold coins.
I got more money.
It's to pay for the bath they're going to give you.
No.
Yes.
It's enchanted.
Is it?
What?
You're just throwing shit out. Bro.
You can either write it down as a gold coin or an enchanted gold coin.
I'm gonna write it down as 1 gold coin, not chocolate.
Damn it.
The man in the robe leads you down the hallway, which again is lit by this green energy in the wall. You enter into a sanctum that has several pillars going up to the ceiling with arches like a cathedral, rows of pews. It's very dark, and there's skull patterns on the walls, bone patterns on the pillars. Bone patterns. There are bone patterns on the pillars. And at the end of this room is a brilliant spiral of that green energy concentrated on this one point. And in front of that is a lectern, a big stool, and a very small man hunched over that lectern, about Nynx's size. A black robe draping down over the stool, a hood, and a big book in front of him. There's a stack of books next to him. There's candles all around. And he's just quietly reading. And the man in the dark cloak, the man in the dark cloak leads you right up to his pulpit, which is above you on a short set of stairs. And the little figure with the hood turns. "Thank you, Malin. You may go." The man in the dark robe bows and exits. You can't see this figure's face, but you can kind of see his chin and his nose sticking out from under the hood. "It seems you have met with a terrible fate."
Yes, we have.
Sorry, what do you mean by that?
He's talking about the itchies.
Your mark.
Gotcha.
Marked by powerful magic against your will.
Well, we were trying to save an enchantress.
You are blessed for doing so. Show me one of these marks.
Nick just stands up.
He takes some a little pair of eyeglasses off of the lectern, puts it on.
How curious. Solemnity markings. These are glyphs, not language. It's a symbol.
It was on a chain around her neck.
And you each bear a mark from this chain.
Yes. When the red one pulled it up off her neck, it marked us.
Is it possible that one of these marks is not present right now?
No, it was on her, and she ended up passing.
We have her tablet that holds the mark.
Do you? Well.
He closes his book and takes from the other side of his lectern a parcel of a cloth. And he lays it on his book and opens it up. And he holds up a strange, irregular shaped patch of something. Looks like really fine leather. And right in the center of it is a big, black, charred, slightly glowing symbol. And it's the symbol that Delsinora had on her neck. It's skin cut from her neck. It seems to have where the collarbones would be, the neck, and kind of under the chin.
Yeah, that's the symbol.
That's the skin.
The what?
Ew.
Oh, I think I'm going to be sick.
And with that, we will pick up next time and find out, hopefully, what's going on. It seems the high priest here has a gruesome item in his hand. You'll have to find out what happens next time. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you listening. We see we have a few listeners out there, and we are incredibly thankful for that. And we hope that you continue to enjoy it and enjoy it even more as we're getting better and better.
If you're on a platform that does ratings and reviews, please go ahead and do those for us. It helps us get more exposure.
Your mom gay.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Spoo Jim referenced that I still had her little part of the necklace.
We can call it a collar
Yeah, her collar.
fragment.
That I still had her collar fragment, which I don't because I gave it to him. To
Brigham.
Yeah, Brigham.
The man.
But what we could do is I found a piece of wood, found a random, raffled through my bag, because you know that I keep trinkets and things, and I could have made something. Because I am a tinker.
Nynx is pretty clever, so I would be fine with her anticipating some issue in the future and making a fake. But the collar fragments themselves are a very unusual metal. They have an iridescent purple kind of glint. And it's very ancient. So it would be really hard to... You could recreate it, but not a...
So I would have
it wouldn't fool anyone.
So I could have made one just so we had a reference.
Absolutely.
So if we came across, be like, this is
Absolutely.
the missing part.
And if you hadn't done that, you might have forgotten what that symbol looked like.
Because remember, I had written it down, so to me...
You did, okay.
Yeah, Galia also has the drawings of that one guy's tattoos.
I noted that. Okay, I know you've got that.
So I was thinking, then I could have made a replica. Either given it to the guard, Brigham, or just had it on my person, so that when we got wherever that maybe that could be...
Okay. So we can do that, but definitely the man Brigham, he would have gotten the real thing.
Yeah, because I didn't want a chance.
Yeah.
In my mind, giving him the original was a good thing because he said he was going to take it to whoever, and I assumed it would have been the person that could have helped us. That's why I did it.
Possibly, yeah.
For me, at that moment, it was a good faith token.
And you wanted to get into the city.
Yeah.
And you definitely wanted to be a good faith to do that.
Okay. So I have a copy.
A copy of the original.
Yes, on my person.
Okay.
So Thornton, are we going to not allow him in temples anymore?
We're gonna hire a babysitter.
Well, I mean,
The fox is gonna have to.
To babysit.
so with the Temple of Elmira, you know, this priestess came out. She started just immediately
A bitch.
insulting.
Yeah.
My man, Shrimpstop here,
My boy.
my boy, and Thornton doesn't like that.
He didn't stand for
He
that.
did not stand for that at all. And in this temple, he's freaked out. like this is like some undead, like necromancy stuff. He that in the Goblin War, like he's seen, you know, many, like a triage like setup, you know, camps.
Yeah.
And like it was
Oh, so he's having like PTSD
base,
type.
yeah, like almost like he's being reminded of stuff like that. And in those camps, like you didn't go there to get healed. You went there to die.
Well, that's also kind of why Nynx gave you the pebble
That he
or
dropped.
the rock.
Sure,
Was-
I'll come hold your hand.
Yeah.
Was to,
That would distract you.
Yeah.
was to give you something to help focus
Yeah.
on and not focus on the other.
And then the priestess like just came up and like just immediately started like scalping his chest.
No, that was just a simple biopsy. It's normal.
Came at you with a knife, bro.
I know. She's lucky. She's lucky at that rock.